5 years ago, I made a decision that changed the course of my life. Not because I moved to Mexico, but because I stopped waiting to become the woman I knew I could be. I did not have a plan. I had no idea where I was going. I just knew one thing. The life that I had been building for decades no longer aligned. If this sounds like you, not because you don't have a good life, but because you have this voice that keeps whispering, there's more out there, then this channel is for you. Hi, I'm Helen. And 5 years ago, I left everything familiar behind. The funny thing is, I had no idea where I was going. Most people think that I moved to Mexico because I wanted to live here. But that's actually not true. My journey led me here. But really, I was actually searching for myself. The biggest changes for me didn't come from moving countries. It came from letting go of an identity that I had built for so long. And then discovering who I was without it. This has changed me in ways I could not have imagined, and it still continues to. So, I decided that I would make this YouTube channel because when I was figuring out where I wanted to move, I was looking through a lot of YouTube videos, and they were tremendously helpful. I can't say that they weren't, but there was a conversation that I was missing. The videos that I was finding, they were about logistics, healthcare, which neighborhoods were good, where you can dine out and drink, stuff like that. But I wasn't finding what I really wanted to know, something deeper. You know, what happens when you get there? How do you start, or how do you begin again from scratch? How do you make genuine friendships after 25? How do you build community? How do you deal with the loneliness? How do you trust yourself when nothing feels familiar? These are the conversations that I needed. So I decided to create the channel that I wished I had had. So I don't really want this to be a channel about moving abroad, because it isn't. It's about what happens when you have the courage to begin again. Some of you may dream of moving to another country. Some of you may dream of changing careers, leaving a relationship, or simply retiring in a new place. Or simply becoming a version of yourself that you've held off for years. Whatever your next chapter looks like, I hope you will find encouragement and inspiration here. I will be sharing my experiences, the lessons that I've learned, the mistakes I've made along the way, and I will introduce you to some incredible women whose stories remind us that it's never too late to create a new chapter and a life that feels like your own. So I had this idea. I want to see if we can build something together. A community of women who support each other through change, who share honestly, who remind each other that courage isn't the absence of fear, and is choosing to move anyway. So I'd love to know, what's one dream that you've been holding off on, and what has been keeping you from taking your first steps? Leave a message in the comments, because I truly want this community to be shaped by the conversations we have together. So if this video found you, maybe it's not an accident. Maybe you're standing at the beginning of a new chapter yourself. And if you are, I hope you will join me, because none of us have to figure it out before we begin. We just have to take the first step. Thank you for being here, my very first video. And remember, it is never too late to begin again. Until the next one, ciao for now.